Now back to the Wisconsin Vegetable Garden Radio Show.
This is not a drill.
With your hosts, Joey and Hallie Baird.
It's the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com. That's your destination for all things gardening. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, 1,000 plus garden videos, and a whole lot more. You can spend a lot of time. You can check out all of our Canning What You Grow videos and all of that under the Watch tab on the upper right-hand corner of the page. Well, let's go to the Ivy Organics 3-in-1 Plant Guard Hotline, Holly, and bring on our next guest. We're going to Chicago, Illinois for this.
Carol and Carrie are the owners and founders of the Seed Keeper Company. Residing in Chicago, their mission is to provide innovative, useful, and informative gardening products that inspire the innate desire of people to work the earth and to assist their goal to make the environment a better place by adding value through beauty and bounty throughout the harvest. Together, they developed a seed filing system for seed packets and captured seeds complete with tips and seed planting accessories. Welcome to the program, Carrie and Carol.
Hi.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, for taking some time out of your busy day to join Holly, myself, and all of our listeners to share some of your seed-saving knowledge with all of us.
That's a pleasure. We're glad to be here.
Well, now, of all the things that you ladies could have focused on in the gardening realm of outdoor activities, you chose seeds. And why did you choose seed saving and seed keeping as your goal and focus?
Well, I guess, what do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. And at one point during this recession, the Great Recession we had, I thought to myself, I just cannot spend that kind of money on annuals and flats and soil and all these things. So Carrie and I, who have been friends forever and live very close, we thought, you know what, let's start these flowers from seed. We can do that. So I started flowers and germinated them, and of course, along with that, I had never grown vegetables and herbs, and I thought, well, I might as well start a few of those while I'm at it. So while I was doing all that and growing the vegetable, seed saving became just a part of it because I realized that by growing the seeds that I had grown in my backyard, I would be making a hardier seed or a more zone-perfect seed for my environment. And so seed keeping became part of our seed starting, and so did our seed keeper, which you mentioned, to keep all our seeds in.
And there's also the element of satisfaction when you start seed yourself. I mean, we start between us about 1,000 plants from seed, and every time you put that seed in that puffed up peat pot or whatever growing medium you're using, and that first sprout comes up, there's just like this, it just like gives back this energy to you. It's just so exciting. I mean, we've been doing it for a long time, and we're still dazzled every year by that miracle, that, magic of the seed.
Yeah, plants want to grow, and sometimes they just need a little soil to do that.
And we get to take part in it. Isn't that grand?
Now, whenever you decided to do this and start all of your seeds, or the majority of your seeds, was there ever an aha moment going, man, this is a little harder for this particular plant, or maybe we took a little bit more off of the bone than we should have here, or did it go fairly smoothly for you?
Sometimes, that old saying, what you don't know won't hurt you.
Right.
When we first started doing starting plants from seed, one of the major plants that we started were impatiens. And that was before, the downy mildew happened. And we just did it. And then we were told later, those are very difficult seeds to start, and if you just follow the rules and follow the instructions, you can be successful. And if you're not, you can do it again. You can do it again. If at first you don't succeed, seed again. So nothing is really that difficult if you follow the rules and follow the plan. Seeds are really forgiving.
Don't be discouraged.
Definitely. So if you could explain the three types of seeds, the heirloom, organic, hybrid, and also what GMOs are.
Okay. Let's start out by talking about what an heirloom seed is. An heirloom seed, like any heirloom that you would have in your family, that beautiful old plate or whatever that you pass down, heirloom seeds are just like that. They're seeds that have been passed down for generations. Some people say that they are seeds that are 50 years old or older, in variety, or World War II. But an heirloom seed, let's just say, is that historic seed that we're passing down from generation to generation. On the other hand, a hybrid seed is a seed that has really had multiple varieties of a plant that are kind of melded together. That geranium that has great bloom and great foliage probably came from plants that had one that had great foliage and one that had great bloom. A hybrid is not necessarily a bad seed. It's just a different kind of seed that you can't necessarily save from because it won't produce true to the mother plant. Now, both heirloom and hybrid seeds can be organic. Organic means that the produce that the seeds will be saved from has been done on land that has no chemical use. If you want USDA certification, they say it's 3 years of no chemicals. Let's be fair. A lot of people are growing organic seed. They don't use chemicals in their garden. So those are the differences. What is a GMO? GMO stands for genetically modified organism, which all of us are. We're all genetically modified organisms. The big culprit in that area is GE, or genetic engineering. Typically, that type of stuff is used for very large production seed, typically for farms or things like that. We're really not using genetically engineered seeds in our own home gardens. So those are the differences. Where it becomes a problem is you have huge soybean crops that have been, they're using seed that has been genetically engineered, and that soybean goes on to become soy milk, and therein lies the problem. What we're producing at home, that's not happening unless you're using chemicals, and we don't. And one of the things that we really noticed about the MichiganGardner.com is all of their seeds are non-GMO, and they're all heirloom, and that's a cool site.
Now, just to clarify, hybrid seeds are not genetically modified. I want to make sure everybody understands that.
Yes, no, those are not genetically. Well, they're hybridized.
Correct.
So you're having two things come together. You're not injecting things into the seed.
Correct. Okay. So I just wanted to clear that up there.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys touched on learning how to seed save a little bit. What are some of the easiest seeds to save? And what would you recommend buying new every year from MIGardner.com?
Well, I find actually I love saving any kind of bean or pod type of vegetable, snap peas, those types of things, shelling peas, peppers. Bell pepper seeds are really easy to save because they're dry inside the cavity of the bell pepper. And of course, jalapeno seeds are easy to save, but please, please, please wear latex gloves when you do so. My son just experienced a very hot nose after cutting up a bunch of those for me. And those are some of also lettuce. Lettuce seeds are great to save. They bolt early, and the seeds come up real fast, so you can keep succession gardening with your lettuce by just saving the seeds that come from the original plant. And don't let saving tomato seeds scare you. It's very easy to do. Also, one other thing, the selection that's offered at MIGardner.com is really pretty unique. They have so many different colors of sunflowers and the Blue Lake pole beans. Those are always fun to grow. They have several varieties of basil as well. I was just delighted when we went all over their website. We recommend it. That's a really great place to get some seeds.
Some cool cucumber varieties.
Really neat.
Really.
Yeah.
99 cents? Awesome.
Absolutely. And this week, M.I. Gardner re-upped with their contract for next year, and they're going to have 450 varieties of seeds starting November 1st.
Well, we're definitely buying from them. I can tell you that.
They're a cool story. They are.
Yes. Let's talk about your cool story about the Seed Keeper Project and explain what that is and how you go to schools and do what you do.
Okay. Well, when we started the Seed Keeper Company about 8 years ago, we decided we wanted a way to give back in some way, and we didn't know what that was going to be. And about 1 year in, we became aware of a school on the south side of Chicago, Metro Curie High School, where students and teachers came together to start a school garden. So our Seed Keeper project recognizes school gardens. We saw what was happening there, and we said, we need to send those teachers a seed keeper just for what they're doing. And we went, it was one of those aha moments. And we said, that's what we're going to do. We're going to recognize school gardens. So each year we recognize school gardens in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Let's not forget about them. To date, we've recognized more than 350 school gardens. And what we do is we send them a certificate recognizing their recognizing their win for the state. They get a Seedkeeper Home Farmer, a wonderful book called Gardenpedia by Maria Zampini and Pam Bennett. They get seeds from Seeds of the Month Club, and our project is underwritten by Corona Tools, and we are grateful for all of their support. School gardens are marvelous. They do so many things for students besides the obvious. You can tie them to curriculum for science and math, but we love what they do for kids. You learn process. You learn a love for nature. You learn how your food is grown, and you learn how to appreciate it at a much younger age. So school gardens are fabulous. We do this every year for 5 weeks. We put up 10 states. They're in alphabetical order, so you can kind of figure out where you're going to fall in that. Our project this coming year is going to start on Monday, January 28th. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to go on our Facebook page and nominate a school garden from your state if it's up for that week. And at the end of the week, we tally them up. The winner for that state is the winner for the Seedkeeper Project, say for Illinois or Wisconsin.
Well, I want you to share the story, Carrie, of the correctional facility, the school. If you can share that story about the kids that just were amazed by the school gardens, if you would.
Right. The Southwest Idaho Juvenile Detention Center probably is not a real happy place when kids are getting there, you know. I'd be scared if I were going to juvenile detention. Well, there's a marvelous warden, as they would call him, I guess. Really, he's like the school principal. And he said, you know what, we need to start a garden here. We need to give these kids some hope. And so they started this marvelous garden, and after the first year, they donated over 1,000 pounds of produce to the local homeless shelter. And those kids felt great, and we just thought that was such a marvelous story, you know. In a place that might be bleak, you learn something, and you walk away from that having, you know, maybe you get in touch with yourself, you get in touch with other people, you learn that you can do things, that you can have a positive impact on society, and we just think it's a very, very cool thing, and our hats go off to them. And the funny thing is we awarded them. They were one of our first years, and we got a letter back from the principal, let's call him that, and he was just so excited that we recognized their garden, and we went, you know what, we're the winners here. When people teach children how to garden, they carry it on, and they may not do it forever, but they understand it and the impact that food and plants have on our society.
Definitely, indeed. Now tell us where you can find more about you and where to buy all of your lovely products.
Absolutely. Well, like Carrie said, when we do our Seedkeeper Project, we encourage everybody to visit our Facebook page. You can find us on The Seedkeeper Company on Facebook. And on Instagram and Twitter, we're quite active every day on these forums. You can find us at Seedkeeper Co. And we, of course, would love for you to visit our website, which is www.seedkeepercompany.com, and you can shop for all our wonderful seed keeping and growing goodies there. And please don't forget, we're going to be in Madison, Wisconsin for the Garden Expo in 2018, which runs from February 9th to the 11th, and we're in a corner booth this time.
Yahoo!
So we'll be in booth number 307. And also in March, we'll be at the Chicago Flower and Garden Show. We encourage everybody to get out there. It is a great getaway when you're a little tired of winter, and we all get a little tired of winter. Take in a show, enjoy the sights of Chicago, and come to the Chicago Flower and Garden Show, and that will be from March 14th to the 18th. And we have a different booth there as well, so we really look forward to seeing all our garden smiling faces out there at the shows. We hope to see you two there as well.
Yeah, we will be at Madison. I don't know if we'll make it to Chicago, but we will be in Madison speaking in February.
Perfect.
And
awesome.
Ladies, we greatly appreciate your time, your knowledge, sharing with Holly, myself, and all of our listeners about seed saving and the Seedkeeper Project.
Thank you. Everybody grow something.
Yes, and we appreciate what you do by bringing the garden to people.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Carrie and Carol.
If you're in the Milwaukee or surrounding areas, just tune your radio to 860 AM or FM 106.5. You can also find links on our Facebook pages, The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener and Home Canning. Our website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, click on the radio tab at the top of the page, then click on the Listen Live button, and you'll have immediately access to our live program. Mobile devices work very well also. Go to your app store and download for free the TuneIn app or the Simple Radio app. Then search WNOV 860, save it to your favorites, and you can have access to our radio show live wherever you're at in the world. Our radio program will also have podcast replay under the radio tab several days following the live broadcast. You can find all of these links in the show notes below. Our show airs 9 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time every Saturday, March through the end of October. And we want to thank our sponsors because without them, this would not be anywhere possible. You can find all of their links under the radio tab on our website at thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.